What's up with every lolcow threatening to sue people? Because recently, Jeremy Hamplanet from the Quadrant has recently threatened to sue his detractors. He has been getting that desperate. He has been getting that fucking destroyed to the point he's finally trying the last sort of defense, intimidating people. But first of all, let's give you a little bit of context before we get to the clip where he threatens to sue his detractors. And for some reason, the Quartering decided to make a vlog channel. And you know what's really funny about this vlog channel? He constantly is talking about personal shit and showing his house, showing his backyard, showing his shed and all this type of stuff. But it's like, this Quartering guy constantly complains about harassment, how people are going after him, how people are doxing him, how he's in fear of his own life. But then he shows his house. He does all these things. And it seems like he's not really that in fear of his life at all. And he'll constantly, in these vlog videos, challenge the detractors, try to go after them, and say a lot of stupid shit and a lot of personal stuff that makes people want to make fun of him for that. Yeah, totally. Yeah, Gordon, you're totally being harassed. You're totally in danger. Your life is in danger, right? Yeah, while you're showing, your house, how it looks like, how big it is, how beautiful it is, how much money you make. While also you're saying how broke you are. Yeah. That's totally going really well. But in one of these vlog videos that he was making, he was seething about the detractors, and during this video, he decided to threaten a lawsuit against the people who are going after him. And let's watch the clip of that right now.
This isn't. They're just mad. They're mad at the world. They're mad that, I don't know, things didn't work out for them the way they wanted. And I get that.
And it's crazy that this clip already begins with the biggest cope of it all. Him saying that the people making fun of him are actually the losers and they're actually the one mad at him, not him. It's like that image, that meme of like the guy pissing himself. And then like everybody's laughing at him. And then the guy pissing himself thinks he's the one winning and everyone looks like losers. It's like that. It's exactly like that meme, but the Quartering is doing it. It's like when people start saying that shit, like, oh, everyone's mad around me and I'm the one saying, that's just the last effort cope. It is the last thing they need to say to try to pretend they're winning. And it's kind of crazy how the Quartering pretty much is self-projecting against his detractors, pretty much saying, oh, they're just mad at the world because they're not successful and they're losers, just like the Quartering with his failed business coffee brand coffee and his other failed projects he had in the past. But it's just very crazy, very rich of him to say all this shit.
But what I don't get is harassing people that I do business with.
I just like, you can't even say like, oh, you're harassing my employees, because this guy doesn't even have employees, okay? And him saying like, oh, don't harass the people I work with, he doesn't work for people, okay? It's already been exposed that he pays people to do his fucking shit for him, okay? And he barely doesn't need the work. He doesn't check the coffee, he doesn't do anything, he doesn't grind them that he constantly claims. He just gives a random Mexican company money to do this coffee for him. So none of it's his stuff. And it's just really funny how he couldn't even say employee. And even the fucking, oh, my business partners, it's just a stretch, okay? These people are not his fucking business partners. Okay? Like, if I pay a little girl to make me some lemonade, does that count as my business partner? No, it doesn't.
Going after my sponsors. Losing sponsors, that's an actionable item. Defamation, right? They were emailing my sponsor saying that I was doing drunk ad reads for them, right? Obviously I wasn't, and my sponsors knew that. Not all of them. Some of them just couldn't deal with the constant barrage of harassment.
You see the little slip up? You see it? Because in his story, he's saying that like, oh, they made me lose sponsors. Like, these people were messaging my sponsors saying that I'm doing these drunk readings of it, and none of them believed it. And then like he started thinking like, wait a minute, that contradicts my first statement. So then he says, oh, now they almost did drop me. They did think of it, but it's just because of the harassment. You see how he constantly changes his stories now? Like, in this 1 second, these few 5 seconds, he already changed the story immediately because he knew he was fucking lying. Because if he wasn't lying, he wouldn't retract this shit. He wouldn't change it to make it seem to his own way, like the way he wants it to seem, that he's this guy that's harassed, this guy's a victim, and he's a victim. Okay? You see what I'm saying? You see what's clearly happening. He's just lying about it, and nobody believes that he's being harassed. Okay, this is all bullshit. And if he was harassed, he wouldn't be filming himself outside, driving his car, showing off his house. Because if you do that shit while claiming to be harassed, how you're a victim, that shows that you're not really that fucking harassed because you're not even concerned on your own privacy. Okay?
These are real financial hits that are tied to the defamatory statements. You see what I'm saying? Do you see where I'm going with this? It's sad.
But wait, Jeremy Hambley. How could you be losing money if you were claiming that none of the sponsors actually dropped you? How does that make any sense? Can you tell us an actual story or provide any evidence of you actually losing money? But this guy wouldn't. He's lying. He's trying to make himself look like a victim. He's trying to make himself look like the martyr that he wants to be, or trying to make his fucking detractors look really bad, even if none of this harassment even fucking happened. That's what he's trying to do. And it's not fucking working, because this guy's already been known to be a liar, and he lies about every single thing about his life.
Because it gets him clicks. And that's okay. Good for you. Now, at some point, the issue is they know it's not worth it for me. Like when you're a failed race car truck driver, or your YouTube channel's basically dead, you know it's not worth it for me to file some sort of lawsuit against you for defamation. But at some point it's going to become worth it, because I have all of this stuff lined up, right? I can tie direct lines from these statements from certain commentators to real world harassment, to their fake reviews on Amazon. Like, this would not go well for them.
Okay, if this is real and you already have all this evidence to pretty much sue these people into oblivion and destroy them, why didn't you do it earlier? Why didn't you present any of this to people to actually prove that you were being harassed? Like, none of this makes any sense, and I like how smug he is. He's like, well, I have all these things already ready, and I could just make them lose everything. Yeah, you totally do. Well, you never used it. It never sued anybody, Cordring or Jeremy Ham Planet. But you know what's the craziest thing about this? If this was any leftist, or people like Candace Owens or Alex Jones saying this, Cordring would immediately make a video shitting on them, saying this is retarded and you're being a petty little bitch and you're a pussy. Like, even if, like, you know, the Camilo Anthony guy, like his dad, if he did a statement like this, what Cordring did, Cordring would call him retarded. But it's completely fine with Cordring doing it. Yeah, it's completely fine, because for some Cordring, he believes he has a different standard. But I bet you, if it was a leftist saying this, Jeremy Hambley would make a video about this shit saying this is retarded and you're a piece of shit. But you know what's also fucking crazy? The Cordring constantly claims to be a free speech absolutist, a free speech warrior. But then over here, he is threatening to sue people over them saying mean things about him on the internet. Yeah, totally a free speech warrior. Something I've been realizing lately. I've been realizing with all these free speech warriors, they're not really that free speech. Like, they're not really those type of people to actually fight for free speech or like it. Like, for example, people like Chibi Review, this guy also claims to be a free speech absolutist. And then, like, was caught being in, like, group chats, promoting and advocating for people to be flagged down. Yeah, totally a free speech absolutist. The same guy who also wanted Josh Moon to censor the Kiwi Farms, but he calls himself a free speech absolutist. And even with the recent shit with, like, Kiwi Farms might be shutting down because, like, no services want to protect them, I've seen, like, these same anime motherfuckers, like, you know, calling themselves a free speech absolutist, celebrating a website they don't actually gonna shut down. Have you noticed that really lately? Every single one of these motherfuckers are not really that free speech, okay? But in the end, we know the true intention of this shit, okay? Cordring wants to intimidate people. He wants to pretty much say, oh, if you talk about me, you might be sued because you might be linked to harassment, you know? You might be linked to that shit, while Cordring has been linked to way more harassment than any of his detractors have caused. And I know this ain't gonna happen. He's a bitch. He won't sue people, because if he was able to sue people, he would have done it by day one. So this is just a veiled threat, threatening a lawsuit against people, and he's just a little pussy. And I believe because he wants to play these games, people should talk about him even more and expose him for being a fraud that he really fucking is. So in the conclusion, he ain't gonna do shit, and he's just a little bitch. So that's it. So we have finally reached to the end of this video. And first of all, give this video a like. Subscribe to the Mr. Zombie Army. We need to get to 100, 500, 1 trillion subs. We need to recover what YouTube has taken away. Also, follow the Twitter account. Here it is. You can follow if you want to. Also, leave a comment. You can say whatever the fuck you want. You could say, hey, Mr. Zombie, you piece of shit. You don't know what you're talking about. Fuck you. Or you could say, you know what, Corner's a pussy. You could say whatever the fuck you want. I absolutely believe in free speech. And you can say whatever the fuck you want. I'm not like the Korean who censors their own comments for like a 1 month subscriber mode. So say whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. And also, I hope all of you guys have a really great July, a really great summer, and a really great day. And goodbye.